the business of art. If this is your first time here, welcome. It's great to have you here. My name's Paul Adams, and I am the artistic director of an independent theatre company and filmish company called Small Crown Productions. And this channel is really here so that we can continue and have ongoing discussions around why we need to build the business around our art. So I'm really passionate about this whole need for us as artists to discuss business and to become good at business so that we can actually really make money from the work that we do creatively. It's great for us as artists to get out there and do what we love, but we really need to actually start to understand that other side of the business thinking and the structures and the strategies and the processes that help businesses run so that we can systematically make money from our art. And that is what the purpose of this channel is here for. So I'm really excited. It's been a couple of months since I've posted anything on the channel. It's been a very busy couple of months because I've been building my business. I've actually been building a show, been a show that we've been testing for 18 months, which we finally got to a point where we were able to sell it. And so we managed to sell it into some of our Brisbane City Council libraries as a community event. So the libraries paid us to take the show in and opened it up for the community to come in and see the show and experience the show for free, which is amazing. So it was fantastic to be able to do the first couple of days of that in December. We got another day coming up in January. So it's just them testing the waters with us. We've not delivered anything into the libraries before, so it's a big opportunity to really get a foot in the door and deliver some amazing outcomes for them and to meet the needs that they have through the creative work that we do, which is super exciting. So it's been a couple of months since I've been able to create any content, which is exactly why I'm here doing a live stream, because I'm struggling. I'm struggling to find the time to shoot the video, edit the video, and consistently upload the video. Whereas jumping on and doing a live stream, I can get the same sort of thoughts across. It might not be as elegantly edited, but we can still have a discussion. And I really, 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 really want us to keep having discussions about the business side of what we do as creatives. So for me, I'm a performing artist, I'm a performing producer and a director. I write my own shows, so I kind of cover that gamut of things. But if you are a visual artist or a musician, then this place is here for you as well, because there is so much that we don't learn through the process of learning our art, about how to sell our art, how to do that without feeling sleazy. And I have spent the last couple of years really focusing on developing that side of my understanding so that I can take what I learned in my management career through retail, arts, admin, events, and bring that into actually being the salesman for my creative work so that I can create work and actually generate income streams from it, which has been really exciting to do. And so, I've always made money from my creative work. I work as an actor professionally. So, I've done, over 30 television ads and, some feature films and little bits and pieces here and there. Haven't cracked a major role in a fully funded feature film. Done a pretty major role in independent film, which was a lot of fun. But, still chipping away on the acting side of things. But I'm really impatient. And so I want to create work. I love to create work. And so that's why having a business of my own that I can really focus on, coming up with ideas for shows and finding other ways to be creative and create work is imperative for me. So it was also really important to build up that business side of what we do, because I would constantly create shows, produce the shows, and lose money on the shows. And it was my wife who tapped me on the shoulder after a show a few years ago, and she said, can you stop losing our money? Can you do that? That'd be great. And I realized that I had not been applying any of the skills and knowledge that I learned in management, in business, to my creative work. I'd slipped into that same mindset that I see so many of us as creatives slip into, which is just create the work, and we don't think about the before, the during, and the after unit of the business side of what we do. And I really want to dig into that a lot more. And I'm just sort of hitting a point where I think it's going to be way easier to have those discussions via live streams rather than trying to shoot, edit, and upload consistent video at that full kind of production value. So, so this channel is going to take a bit of a turn for a while, more dedicated to live streaming and having those conversations. I'm still very passionate about getting people in to talk about them and the work that they do. We've got some great artists in Brisbane that are doing some incredible work, and I am really excited to be able to bring some of those people onto the streams and have conversations around the creative work that they're doing, how they're building that business, how they're selling their work. What is it that they're doing to help make money from the creative work that they have, so that we can all learn some other ways to think about how we might be able to do that and apply it to our own work. So, the first thing we have to do is have a great product, a product that people want. And how you define great, really, it's kind of up to you and your audience, because it doesn't really matter if a lot of people hate what you do, if a lot of people love what you do, and they're the people that you want to serve. So, again, art is subjective, and good and great are subjective terms as well. So, it's really about honing in on who your audience is, who are the people that love what you do, whatever your type of art is, and finding more of those people. Because if you can find more of those people, you're going to have a better chance of actually making money from your creative work. There is an amazing article written by a guy called Kevin Kelly, and it's on his website called The Technicum. And it's this concept of 1,000 true fans, and it's been it's been thrown around for a number of years now. But it's this concept that we think that in order to really make money, we need to get giant millions of people audiences, and they're great if you can get them. But in reality, if you're thinking about from a smaller scale, if you can get 1,000 true fans, and a true fan, in the definition that he writes, is someone who will pay you, who will buy basically anything that you do. So for me as an artist, if I create a show, they will buy tickets to come and see that show. If I do a workshop, they will pay to come and do that workshop. If I create a digital product, they will buy that product. They are someone who just loves what you do. And no matter what you buy, they will buy it. Whatever you make, rather, they will buy it. That is a true fan. And so you only need to get 1,000 true fans to spend $100 a year with you, which equates to be, I don't know, like $8 a month, something like that. And you've got a $100,000 business. Now, of course, creating art is expensive, particularly performance art, where you may need sets and venues and costumes and that sort of thing. So obviously there's a lot of expense there as well. So you might need to push that 1,000 to 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000. But when we start to really think about the numbers, we actually potentially need a lot less people supporting the work that we do than we think. But our problem generally as artists is that we're only ever telling our friends and family about it. And so we have to really work out that process of how do we get out in front of the general paying audience, an audience wider than our family and friends network, so that they can learn about the work that we do, and we can sift through them to find the ones that truly love the work that we make and get them engaged as true fans. That's our goal. And that's a big part of what this channel is going to be about. It's having these conversations. Yes, I've got lots of information on here about tax and finance. I did a whole series of over 15 videos with my accountant, who was wonderful and gracious to give us his time to answer specific questions around tax and finance. So, I really do want to look at these things that we need to think about as creative people. How do we make money? How do we save money? How do we spend our money wisely? How do we actually structure our bank accounts? How do we manage the income that we have so that we have sustainable income over time? It's a big part of what we need to do as artists if we really truly want to become sustainable and be able to work full time in our creative outlet. And that's my goal, to the point where I have reduced my day job down to 3 days a week. In fact, I've just quit my day job of 3 days a week so that I can get into more casual work, because the job I had, although it was really great with a great team, it was very structured around 3 set days a week, and there was no flexibility because of the type of work that it was. So it just wasn't sustainable for me to be able to get auditions and go do costume and wardrobe fittings and shoot days and stuff without them having to really work to shuffle things around to suit what the business needed. And so it just felt really unbalanced and unsustainable in the long term for the business for me to stay in that and take that from them. And they were super gracious and amazing to do that for me, but I could just see it wasn't going to be something that could work long term. So I'm still really pushing into building creative work, building a consultancy side of what I do, and finding just some more casual stuff that's a little bit more flexible in the short term while I build out some of these other income streams of my own. So that is what 2022 is going to be all about is having these big discussions around business and how other artists are doing business and making money, and talking a lot about marketing, because I'm sold on the concept of marketing being the key to so much of what we need to achieve. So why are we doing this? Why is this important? Well, a really great example came out in the news in the last week or so. So Circus Oz, which is one of Australia's most established circus companies, founded in 1977, announced that it will be closing its doors because it cannot comply adequately enough with the guidelines of its major funding body, the Australia Council for the Arts, which is, a federal funding body for artists. It's been essentially on watch for the last couple of years as an organization. They needed to comply with certain requirements from the Australia Council, and the membership, because it's a not-for-profit and it's run by the membership. It's got a board of directors, obviously an executive team that are voted in by the membership. But ultimately, those decisions are run by the members, and the members did not want to comply with certain things that the Australia Council wanted. And so the executive team, the board of the Australia Council, have basically said, well, if we can't meet what they want because you don't want to do that as a membership, well, then we can't take their money and they won't give us their money. And that money has accounted for 75% of their annual income. And they obviously are aware that you cannot run the business on 25% of the annual income. And so, this is an amazing example. It's a sad example. There are going to be people who lose their jobs. There is going to have to be a big refresh and a big restart for a lot of artists who are relying on that for touring and, getting work. But the business failed them, because the people leading that organization, and this is not going to be a popular thing to say, but the people leading that organization over however many years have failed to build the business to support that without the need for that funding. Now, as much as we might cry, as hard as that could be, it hasn't happened. And we need to think differently if we are going to be long-term and sustainable as artists. We cannot always rely on funding and donations and sponsorships. They are a big part of what we do in the arts, absolutely. And there is major benefits to people who do that for us if we have a really good audience that follows the work that we do. But it has to be built into a clear business strategy, and it can't be everything that you rely on from an income point of view. So for me, I am really passionate about helping other creative people find that way to build that system, that structure, that process that is going to help them sustain their art and build an income that can continue and not be reliant on, just funding money when it comes up. Don't get me wrong. If you can get it, take it, because it's an amazing leg up to be able to achieve certain things. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bad and that you shouldn't touch it. 100%. If you can access that money, if you can do a funding application and get that money, take that money. That is amazing. But part of what you do should be finding a way to pour some of that into future sustainability, in my opinion. So that is it. It's been a few months. I just really wanted to jump on and just start having a discussion again, because I've been really missing the opportunity to have these discussions. So I just realized there's a whole chat thing here. I don't know. Oh, still great discussion. Hello, Sue. It's great to see you. Good to see you here. Hey, I just realized there was a chat. So this is also a test for me, because this is a brand new live streaming system called Melon. So I've been testing a few live streaming options through different applications, and this is called Melon, and it's a fairly new one on the market. It's been around for a while, a couple of years maybe. And anyone who knows me knows that I'm a massive fan of lifetime deals. I'm not a man that likes to pay for weekly, monthly, annual subscriptions if I can get away from it. And there's a company called AppSumo, 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 who essentially help startup companies get an audience and get users by selling lifetime deals on the early startups of their apps. Melon is one of them, and I've been looking for an alternative to StreamYard, because StreamYard is amazing as a live streaming service, but I'm not a fan of paying for a monthly subscription. So this has popped up, and I've been able to secure it to test it. And for the price, I'm really impressed. It's doing great. So very happy with it, and I think I might be using this for a while. So anyway, so that was the other thing of jumping on tonight, being able to test this in a live scenario and see how it works. I think it's done pretty well. But here is to the end of 2021. Have an awesome Christmas. Have a great break. As soon as I can after Christmas, I'm going to be jumping on and starting to have some more discussions. I'm very keen to start digging into some stuff by Seth Godin, who is arguably one of the world's most popular marketers at the moment. He is incredible, and he has written some amazing books from an artist's perspective in regards to marketing and the way that we should be thinking about marketing, which is amazing. So if you can get any of his books, he's got a book called This Is Marketing that was released a couple of years ago. Most recent book that I've seen him release is called Ship the Work, The Practice. And this concept that we have to ship the work. And I mean, that's the underlying principle of what we have to do. You've got to get the work done, and you've got to ship the work. So as artists, we've got to kind of push that. That's imposter syndrome aside and just ship the work. And sometimes we have to ship it before it's ready to test it, and we need to think a little bit differently as artists, that we can't wait for perfection. And that's a thing that I've taken on, is that whole sort of software SaaS company, software as a service. They will often release products and then let the users bug test it. So essentially there's lots of ongoing testing. So they'll release a minimum viable product, something in its early stages, bring people in to test it, sometimes at discounted rates, sometimes as a freemium, sometimes for free, and use that as an opportunity to test it with real users. And that's what I did with my last show. We put that show together in the middle of COVID, wanting something for small audiences, and we brought people in and we sold it. And we've just constantly been refining that show over the last 18 months to the point where it was really good and I could sell it. And the feedback was amazing. So, I think there is a mindset there that we need to adapt. And, big companies make a lot of money using these systems and structures, not necessarily because they've sold out, but because these systems work. And we need to take those systems and build them around the art that we do, so that the art remains pure and the art remains true. But these systems can be kind of like scaffold built around the art that we do, so that it doesn't jeopardize the quality or the integrity of our art, but we can utilize those systems and those processes to help us actually build the income streams and think differently about how we could be using our art to make money. So there's a lot of opportunity out there, and the internet has stripped away so much of the middleman, allowing us to have access. So really excited to be able to continue these discussions, and I'm super excited to finally find a way to live stream simply and easily that is going to be able to facilitate those discussions. I'm really excited. I've got some people lined up to come on to the streams as interviews in the next few weeks, and I'm really, really pleased to be able to bring those to you, because we're going to discuss the benefits that they found by really thinking differently about the business. That's it for now. I think that's enough. It's a bit of a rant and a ramble, but join me after Christmas for the beginning of the end of 2021, and we'll head into 2022 and have some amazing discussions. So at this stage, I am not going to be able to commit to a specific time and day. The live streams will be when I and other people are available, based on, we've got gigs and events coming up at the moment. So it's going to be a little bit haphazard. My goal is to work towards having a very set and consistent schedule, so that, every day of the week that, it might be every Wednesday at whatever time, there's going to be, an episode of the show. But at this stage, it's going to be when I'm able to jump on and do it. But I just really want to keep having these discussions. So there we go. That's it. Thank you very much. And let's end this stream and see what happens. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.